Joining me now from the U.S. State of Indianapolis for more on Russia starts with North Korea is a global affairs analyst, Kunle Falowo. Good to have you join us on the world now.
Thanks for having me.
Right. A few days ago, saw an alliance and a high-profile visit between two world leaders to discuss and support one another. Both of these nations are currently facing international sanctions. We're talking about Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. What do you think these two leaders are hoping to get out of this alliance?
Well, this is coming on the heels of the trilateral discussion between the United States, uh, South Korea, and Japan. These trilateral discussions have been going on, and the Russian side are looking at, well, we on the other side, we need to form our own alliance against these supposed aggressors, and that's how they term them to be. So this is part of those comeback, or more like a reprisal and a retaliation, or like a counter retaliation from some of those trilateral meetings that have been happening, and then having to, just like you rightly mentioned, the international sanctions are heavily impacting negatively the North Korean government, North Korean society. Um, Kim Jong Un had not left the country after he was locked in for over two and a half years. This is his first time that he had made that uh, official visit outside of the shores of North Korea. And what other place would he go? And that's Russia. Russia is one of the uh, incredibly um, uh, strong ally that the North Korean have at this currently time. So, part of this is forming an alliance to make sure that they, fight back against supposed aggressors like the United States and some Western allies.
Absolutely, Mr. Falliwell. Well, in a response to this, the White House has threatened to take appropriate measures against North Korea if it does not keep to its promise not to support Russia in the fight against Ukraine. What do you make of this?
The United Nations, made up of all the world economies, it also imposed a lot of sanction on international transactions, especially for Russian governments, and also there's some strong sanctions against North Korea also that's really been affecting them negatively. So part of this is going to be a warning and a continuous warning to let the North Koreans or any other country that is seem to be sympathizing with this Russian side, uh, particularly the aggression going on, uh, or a war going on between Russia and Ukraine. Now, the United States are saying that if you sympathize with them and solicit funds with them or for them, or you engage and cooperate with them to continue this unnecessary war going on in Ukraine, you also will be sanctioned. And that's part of the problem, that those sanctions are happening, but it's not really biting extremely hard, like we will think it should be. But nonetheless, it seems to be working, and Russian and the Ukraine, the North Korean part, are always looking for a way to solidify their support in the bid to continue to be a stronger ally.
Right, Mr. Falliwell. Let's break this down on what each nation hopes to gain from each other. There have been claims that North Korea wants help with everything from grains to satellite to technology to missiles. What do you make of this? And also, Russia seems to need more assistance with the war in Ukraine based on arms and also ammunition support.
Aside from just arms and munitions and warheads and nuclear capabilities, also in the financial sector, they also stand a chance to benefit very immensely. Um, I just mentioned that the Russian banks and international transactions been greatly affected by the UN sanctions been going on for some time now. So they would need not just not North Korean collaboration and cooperation in terms of just not just defense alone, finances and business and transactions and money, because you need money to finance all of this war that's going on. There's billions of dollars going down the drain every single day that a missile flies out of Russia to hit a Ukraine target every day. So, for in a bid to continue with the spate of attacks that's been going on in Ukraine, and also to finance the war itself, and also to keep Russia afloat in spite of the war, they need all that cooperation and collaboration with all that wants to sympathize with them. Not only North Korea, China is also a strong ally who is in a very strong middle because there's second largest economy in the world. So just not North Korea, Russia is also eyeing some other sympathizers across the board.
Well, finally, before I let you go, is there a possibility that this alliance is targeted at South Korea, which has been providing aid to the Ukraine in forms of finances and also arms? We have figures where South Korea also increased the number of financial aid that it will be given to Ukraine about 8 times for next year. What do you make of this?
Well, this is as this is going on. Russia is also talking to the Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko to also form an alliance with the North Korean counterpart in a bid to continue to foster relationship between those countries. Then again, we need to remember that those sanctions are really binding at some point, and they need to continue to look for other alternatives to finance their aggression and war. And the society is in a total chaos, especially in North Korea, where there's hunger and starvation. It's a locked down country for a long year now. And there's reports of serious scarcity of food in that country. So aside from defense and finances, everything is on the lookout for currently right now across board.
Right, Kunle Falowo, Global Affairs Analyst, speaking with us from the United States. Thank you for speaking with us on The World Now.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.